Now, hand geometry is not used as much. Hand geometry means that the reader is looking at the size of your hand, how long your fingers are, how long your thumbs are, and it actually will take these individual points in these measurements and then put them again into a binary format. So when you're going to authenticate, you'll just put your hand in the reader, and it's going to make the same measurements. But hand geometry isn't used as much as like a fingerprint scan or iris scan. Now, facial recognition is very interesting. This is something where the industry is continually trying to improve this technology, because computers are not good at dealing with the grays in life. Computers are good at calculation, dealing with facts, binary, off, on. You know, it's all about the facts with them. What humans are able to do, we can guess at things. We can, like to recognize a friend, if we just saw like a portion of the face, maybe they're turning away from us, we can recognize them. But a computer, it's harder because they have to have all the information to be able to recognize somebody's face. So there's issues if somebody is wearing glasses, or they get older, or they grow a mustache. It's harder for the computer to actually identify them. But the reason that the industry is putting a lot into this type of technology is because this is what they want to use to be able to find not only criminals, but terrorists and those types of people, suspects. And they already have cameras at football stadiums and the airport and different places where a lot of people would be to try to do facial recognition. It's continually advancing, but it's difficult for the computer to do this unless it's using more of artificial intelligence. And we'll talk about artificial intelligence and that type of programming in another domain. So this is just a comparison that facial recognition is one of the harder things for a biometric system to make a one-to-one match. Iris is the more accurate. And let me just say this, is that some people have a real hard time with the word accurate and biometrics, because anybody who's worked with biometrics, they know that there could be errors that we'll talk about. But when the CISSP exam talks about biometrics being accurate, it means that's the type of authentication that is that's the hardest to fake. You know, passwords and smart cards, those are easier for the bad guy to fake it, but it's biometrics that provides much more protection because it's harder to be an imposter. So once again, the verification, once the client, the user sends the information over to the access server, and it'll just be like a regular, it could be a domain controller or just like any type of access server that you commonly have. You don't have to have a specialized piece of equipment. It's just that it has to have software to understand how to process this type of authentication information. So again, it's encrypted, or it could be hashed in the backend database, and there'll be a yes, no. Either there's a failure, access denied, or access is granted. And of course there's issues with biometrics, just like everything else. There's always issues we have to look at.